Welcome to the kitchen. Today we are going to go outside the box. We normally do 4 ingredient meals, but today we're going to do, well, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ingredient meal. Now don't let that scare you. Whenever you have a lot of ingredients, it's always good to do just what we're doing here, which is to put it out, all the ingredients, to make sure you have it. Make sure you check your dates and make sure nothing's too old before you start to cook. That way you don't get into a meal and halfway and find out you have to run to the store to get an ingredient. Okay, so we have all our ingredients. All the dates are good on the ingredients. So let's go over the ingredients. First, we have 3/4 cup of flour. Now, I tried to be healthy today, so I went with whole wheat flour, but you could use any kind of flour. Next, we have cornstarch, 1/4 cup of cornstarch. See? And next, we have baking powder. We're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. I know a 1/2 teaspoon doesn't sound like much, but it makes a difference. So if you don't have it, go to the store and get it. Same thing with baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon. Make sure you have it. Don't use the baking soda that's been sitting in the refrigerator soaking up all the smells and stuff like that. Make sure you get a nice fresh box out of the cabinet. Alright, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're using a cup of buttermilk. You can use regular milk, vitamin D, whatever, but we're hoping for a little bit more flavor, so we're going with the buttermilk. Then we're going to use oil, canola oil. We're going to use 1/3 cup of canola oil, 1 large egg. If you're trying to stay healthy, I guess you could use a brown egg. And then we're going to go with a 1.5 cups of sugar. And then we'll use 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's our 10 ingredients. So make sure you have all your ingredients and the measurements that are going to be needed. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is to mix these things together. Alright? Okay. Step 1 is to mix all the solids, the flour, the cornstarch, the soda, and the powder, all into and the salt into a bowl. So you're basically mixing all of the solids together. So then that will just leave you with the liquids left. We'll mix those in after we get the solids all stirred up. So you'll still have your cup of buttermilk or regular milk. You'll have your 1/3 cup of canola oil, and you'll have your vanilla extract and your egg left. So get that all stirred up, and then we'll be adding those into this mix. I'm using a whisk. You can use whatever. I never really used the mixer to do this. It's pretty easy. Get it all nice and mixed up in there. Then add your liquids. Okay. Once you put your liquids in, all of your ingredients is all together. You're almost done. Get it all stirred up really good. And when we pour this onto the griddle, we'll pour it in by about 3/4 cup scoops. So you don't just want to dump the bowl in there. So it may not go all the way to the edge to be a perfect circle like you see, like you get an Eggo waffle. It may not be a perfect circle, but 3/4 cup is about right. So you pour in 3/4 cup, that should just do it. So now, if you're using a waffle iron that still has its Teflon, don't use spray on. The oil in the ingredients should be enough to keep it from sticking. Alright, so mine look like it's good and sturdy, but here's the trick. We're going to let this sit for 30 minutes. So let it sit for 30 minutes, and then we'll get started. While we're letting our batter rest for 30 minutes, let me give you a little history about the waffle maker. Not the history of the waffle maker, my history of the waffle maker, which is why I purchased this. I used to do the clam type waffle maker where it just sits and you just open it and close it like that. And my waffles always turned out horrible. So I was at a hotel in North Carolina on a family vacation. Went through the free breakfast line and seeing them just whipping out these waffles. I took one of those waffles, man, they were fantastic. So I figure it's not me, it's the waffle iron that I've been using. So I copied what they had, and they had this Waffle Pro professional waffle maker, which flips over and cooks both sides. Now, to some degree it was me because I bought this and I've only used it twice, and I didn't really make good waffles either time. So we're hoping that today is different. But this waffle maker did make my job a lot easier when I did try it. So I'm thinking it was the ingredients I used. So that's why I try to make sure I get the right ingredients and make sure the dates are good. Alright, so enough of that. Just go over the waffle iron if you're using it. We're gonna put it on about 5. Then we're gonna plug it in, and the red light will be on. And then when it's ready, the green light will come on and it'll beep about 3 times. You'll pour in about 3/4 cup of your mix, and then when it's ready to flip over, we'll just flip it over like that. And then when it's done, when it beeps again, it'll be done, and it'll be, well, this is going to be brunch actually, and that's why we're having some chicken. So we're not going to focus on making the chicken. I'm just using some chicken I had from another meal. So hey, so we're having brunch today, chicken and waffles. Alright, so we got about 5 more minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've let our mixture sit for 30 minutes, we plug in the waffle maker, turn it on, wait for this light to turn green, and it should beep about 3 times. Beep, beep, beep. So while we're waiting for that, let's talk about our syrup. In the comments, I'd like you to tell me what your favorite syrup is. My favorite is actually Mrs. Butterworth's, but after looking at the ingredients and trying to be healthy, I decided to go with Log Cabin and no high fructose corn syrup. It tastes just as good. Well, Miss Butterworth still tastes better, but this tastes good too, but it's a little bit healthier. I'm just curious what your favorite syrup is. Alright, so make sure you put that in the comments, and we'll just wait for this baby to put it on the number 5. Get your 3/4 cup of your mixture ready to pour in, and then So if you heard that, it was actually 5 beeps. Means it's ready. It's got the green light. We're gonna, hopefully we're not gonna catch the house on fire. We're gonna go ahead and see if this thing works. Pour your batter in, try to get it even around. Looks like I will have enough to make a complete circle. We'll see. You got your drip tray in case any of it spills over. Then you just close that lid and wait for your beeps. And there you go, folks. One delicious chicken and waffle, either breakfast or dinner, whichever you choose. And just to make sure it stays as healthy as you can, I get no high fructose corn syrup, iced tea, chicken, maybe leftover chicken from a meal, from a previous meal or something. But here you go. Oh, that looks good, man. I gotta get to it. So, until next time, thanks for watching.